All right. Well, I would like to bring us to actually my favourite part of the evening, and that's bringing on our guest speaker tonight. So Chantal's, I think you've been on a couple of times, like in our live events, you've been. And so she's one of my popular people that I love to have on because she just knows so much about Facebook. And because Facebook changes so much, it's a great opportunity for her to come back and share all of the new stuff as well too. So if I've ever got a question about Facebook, Chantal is definitely the person I go to. She spends far too much time on there, way longer than I do. And I don't want to be sort of spending all that time on there. I'm just going to tap into her brain. So her clients rave about her. She's got some great programs that she helps businesses with to help them understand and unravel Facebook. And some of the results that I've seen with some of her clients, they're raving fans, and they've gone from absolute newbies knowing nothing to being sort of almost ninjas, almost overnight. Takes a wee bit of time, but yeah, they've got a whole lot more confidence with it. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Chantal to come and share with us some of her golden knowledge tonight. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nick. It's awesome to be here again. I love two screens. Two screens is awesome. I'm like flicking backwards and forwards between the two screens. And I think Nick talks almost as fast as I do. So if you're accustomed to Nick, you should be accustomed or be okay with how quickly I talk. So yes, today I'm going to be showing you heaps. I just want to clarify, Nick, how much time do I have?
You've got an hour, so we'll run through at about 7:30.
Okay, cool. So have your phones ready. Take screenshots of anything that I'm doing. Feel free to do that. And at the end, I'll give you an opportunity to get an actual live training of me going through the new look Facebook, because we won't have a chance to go through that today. Do I have the ability to share screen, Nick?
You do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
If you don't, let me know.
There we go. Awesome. So new look Facebook, and I have spent the last probably month apologizing. Every time somebody goes, what about this? What about this? What about this? I can't find this. Where's that? Where's it? I'm like, sorry. I keep feeling like it's my fault. But yeah, they've gone and changed it. And there's some interesting stuff. But what I really would like to comment on, and I think it was, let's have a look. Where did I write this? I can't even read my own writing. My question is, if Facebook wasn't working for you before, if Facebook wasn't actually generating you clients, then it wasn't working. And new look or old look, your strategy is still not going to work. So I just want to clarify that right from the beginning. Some of you might just go, that's it, I'm out, and probably are going to leave. But that's the honest truth. And at the end of the day, when we talk about Facebook working, we talk about it generating you actual paying clients. And that is a return on investment, and your time is money. Your time is money. So you cannot spend hours and hours and hours on there. It's all about whether or not you actually generate clients. And I'm not interested in how many friends you make. I have enough friends. It's all about making money, and it needs to be. So let's have a look here. So why Facebook firstly? I always start with this. Well, 93% of small businesses prefer Facebook because it's fun, entertaining, and engaging. So as much as I use LinkedIn, LinkedIn's like horrible to use. Facebook is more friendly. But did you know that right now there are actually 3.1 billion monthly active users? And that has increased 12% over the last year. So Facebook can be an effective way to market and grow your business. You've got to know how to efficiently use it. Efficiently. So firstly, why me? Well, firstly, I am self-taught. I'm not by right, it's not in my blood like Nicky's so good with, techno stuff and back-end stuff. Like that's his thing. That's not my thing. I'm actually active, hyperactive. I'm a personal trainer. I don't like sitting down. I don't like being in front of the computer. But really out of necessity to grow my business or to save my business, I taught myself Facebook and grew a six-figure business and went from Centrelink to 6 figures. So the last 5 years, I have basically just been helping, I think over 500 business owners worldwide now, help them to have a simple strategy that they can implement that actually gets them clients. And I'm talking about free clients. So as a Facebook strategist, there's three things that I really focus on. And the one is getting clients. The second one is creating income producing opportunities. Like some of my clients have gone on to have radio shows or to start a podcast or have developed a book. Like their initial plan was something and now they've actually created all these other plans. And the third one is to be able to grow their business, meaning it's a scalable model where a lot of it can be automated and you're not wasting your time and money on Facebook. So here's Facebook World. And I love showing people this because a lot of people don't know this. And I always use the right language because using the right language is super important. I had a business coach say to me the one time, please go and like my Facebook page, and told me what their name was. And I couldn't find it because it was a group that they were actually trying to send me to because they didn't use the right words. So I'm going to show you now Facebook World. So firstly, you're allowed one profile with one email address. And if you've got multiple, Facebook will possibly remove your profile. So you might take all this time building up a profile, even start a Facebook page, and you may lose everything. And now with artificial intelligence being ever so prominent during COVID, it is happening even more than usual. Now, with your one personal profile, which for me is Chantal Gerardy, on one email address, don't forget your login details because most people do. But those people are friends and you're allowed 5,000 of them. You also have a section to write a short bio, which shows up first on your mobile. You can put in your contact details. However, do not put in your home address. Please don't put in your home address. Or if you do, have it set as only me and not public or friends. And that might just be the South African and me being a bit nervous. The good news to know is that your personal profiles are private unless you make certain areas of it public. You can put in your business details. I don't know about you, but I'd love my business details on my personal profile to be public. You can put in all your digital links to your other platforms. There's featured photos. You can have up to 9. You can put your relationship status in. And if you put in that you're single, in Facebook World, it means that you are single and you're ready to mingle, just so you know. It's better just not to put anything there at all. But if you put single in, it means you're ready to mingle. You can put in your location, which is good because people want to see where in the world you're working from. You can put in your family members, which I don't like. So remove all your family members from your personal profile and take them out because you know who they are, but you don't want some troll having access to your 93-year-old grandmother who doesn't know how to use Facebook. You can put in your life events, which is really cool, especially if you're featured in radio or newspapers or on the news. You can check in, and again, do not check in at home. You can run events which are private, so be careful how you run those events on your personal profile. You have privacy settings, tagging settings. You can obviously message people. You can have Facebook Story, which is there for 24 hours, and Facebook introduced it to bring a younger demographic into onto Facebook, which has worked. Profile preferences, you can put in your favorite quote, all your details about you, and you cannot believe how many of you have not set up your details about you on your personal profile. You can put in your birthday so people can wish you, and you can even hide the year of your birth date in case you don't want people to know how old you are. And then that takes us across to our pages. Now with our business pages, we can have unlimited business pages. But I encourage you to have as few as possible because with every page you have, you will grow, either lose your hair or go completely gray because it requires time, energy, and strategies. So the fewer pages you have, the better. Now your business pages are public, 100% public. And the people that join those pages are called your fans. There's a section for you to leave reviews, and you can now turn your review tab on or off in settings. So there was a question in the chat box asking about that, and you can turn that review tab on or off. So my answer to the question that was asked about how do you get rid of a bad review? Well, you can't unless they swear, then you can report them for bullying and hope that Facebook will remove it. However, if you know that you've upset someone or you've got a dodgy client or somebody's trolling you, my rule would be go in, block them, ban them from your page, and switch off your review tab until they probably forget about you, or hope that they forget about you. And then on top of it, you can also turn off or turn on the little review section where you have to approve people posting on your page. And I encourage you to have that turned on so that if somebody writes something on your page, it doesn't automatically go there. You have to accept it. Your page has a click to contact button. Now it's got a message button and then one other button. So we have to think about where we're sending those people. And so many people don't realize that there's actually two buttons. So they have the message button and they forget the other very important message, which Nick and I agree on should be us getting their email address or sending them at least to the website to get the email address. So on your business page, you can have your physical address. And again, if you work from home, please don't put that in. You also have your page story, which again is like Snapchat, and it's there for 24 hours. It's governed by your activity or a response rate. So you want to respond at least within sort of a 24-hour period. There are 3 search categories, and it's not what you would use to search you. It's what your client would use to search you. And the first one is the most important because that's the one that shows up first. There's a story section, which with the new look Facebook, you cannot see on a desktop, but you do, however, see it on a mobile. So still use that feature. You can run events, which a lot has changed, and we are going to go through the 16 changes that have happened with the new look Facebook. You can set up your services or shop. There's a section to run offers. There's a community tab, which is really awesome. So if anybody tags you, all those pictures will catalog in a community tab, which will give you social proof and credibility. You can link to your Facebook groups. And again, I wouldn't be doing that unless those groups are active and you're actually using them. You have an inbox, so it's in a different place to your messages. So be sure to check them. You've got your own auto response or messaging response system. So again, consider the customer journey and what that process is or where you need to be sending them when you set up that auto response. Page roles and administration, meaning you can give people rights to your pages. And this week alone, I've had 2 businesses that didn't actually own their page. They had somebody else set up their page for them. They were an admin on their page, but they didn't actually own their page. So I encourage you to work out whether or not you actually own your page and whether or not you're an admin on your page and whether or not anyone on your page is dodgy and you should have removed them ages ago, because we've had pages being hijacked as well. And Facebook is a business. They're a money-making business. So of course they're going to keep asking you to boost and to pay for ads. But I can tell you now that 95% of my clients do organic Facebook only and are generating heaps and heaps of income. The only 5% that are doing ads are e-commerce. You can tag your business, so you've got to know your URL. There's an awesome appointments feature in there. However, when I go through my fundamentals later, one of my rules is to get them the hell off Facebook and to create a business off Facebook. So I don't like the appointments feature in Facebook. Imagine you're a hairdresser, you put all your appointments in Facebook, Facebook goes down, you don't have anybody's details, you don't know if you're doing a perm or a color, and you don't know how to contact your clients and communicate with them. So not a feature that I like. I prefer us to have things off Facebook. You can schedule in Facebook, and the new place to do that is in Creator Studio. Then we have groups. And again, you can have an unlimited amount of groups. Now, groups can be public, closed, or secret. And as far as I'm concerned, groups need to have their own strategy. There's no reason to have them and to nurture people that are just not interested in who you are, what you're doing. They're not engaging. And basically, it's a dead group. It's a waste of time and energy. Now, the people in the group, they're called members. There's a section for you to put in a description of how you want to run that group. There's rules and etiquette, which is governed by the administrators and not governed by Facebook. And in fact, the hashtags they use are not a Facebook thing. It's actually a group administrators thing. It's something they use to control content in groups. It's not a Facebook thing. There are categories. You can have different administrators. You can run events in there. There's a files section or units section, so you can actually run programs through your Facebook groups. You can schedule inside them. Yep, you've got units. You can also tag people, and I encourage you to tag people in a group when you're talking to them, because else they might miss the notification. But wait, there is more. During COVID, Mr. Zuckerberg was very busy. But some of the oldies, Watch party means that you have the ability to have a group of streaming videos for your members, and you can basically repurpose your videos or lives and invite people in. Facebook stories, which is viewable for 24 hours, but they are considering lengthening that for up to 3 days. And that's to bring in the younger people who like Snapchat and Instagram stories. There's Workplace, which is a communication tool that connects everyone in your company. Marketplace, which is to take on, you know, Gumtree, where you can trade, buy, sell. And what's really important to know here is that people actually rate you. So you've really got to be careful how you sell things through Marketplace. There's Messenger Kids, because again, they're trying to bring the younger generation into Facebook. And there's Messenger Rooms. So you can take someone into a room, which is in competition to Zoom. And Facebook Shops feature, which they're starting to bring in at the moment now, which is to take on Amazon. And everyone, they say it's free. It's not free. In fact, they will charge you 5% for you to be able to use their Facebook Shop feature. However, PayPal and Stripe are 3%. So you need to look at whether or not it's going to be beneficial for you. And again, what is my one fundamental of Facebook? Get off Facebook. And virtual dating. So for those of you who want to put single in your profile, they're now accepting virtual dates and Messenger. They're busy trialing that at the moment. So Facebook has been very, very busy. Now, sorry for those of you who know me, but this is something that I go through every single time, and it's the fundamentals of Facebook. Because if you do not get this right before you even go onto Facebook, Facebook will not work. New look, old look, any look. If you don't do this, Facebook won't work. Number one, who are you? What is your personal brand? What is it that people know, like, and trust about you? And that is super, super important. Number two is, who's your ideal client? And do you know them intimately? Their needs, wants, likes, frustrations, how you talk to them, how you can solve their problems. You need to know this so you know how to market to them. This, number three, is one of the most underutilized things that business owners don't do, and that is stalk your competitors. Now, not the shoddy ones, go and stalk the good ones, okay? And have a look at what they're doing. Now, this isn't so you can copy them. In fact, this is so that you can differentiate yourself from them. So if you do nothing today after our session, this thing do. Go and look at 3 competitors, have a look at their offers, have a look at their funnels, have a look at their opt-ins, their setups, their services, their pricing, their branding, and then work out how you can differentiate yourself to stand out from them. Number 4 is branding consistency. So when we talk about branding, we're talking about your graphics, colors and fonts, but we're also talking about your key messaging. What are the words that you're going to consistently say that are going to be memorable online, that people are going to connect with, or your right audience is going to connect with, so they choose you over someone else? Number 5 is have a strategy. So instead of winging it every single day, waking up and going, oh, what I'm going to do, I'm going to post my coffee again or my dog again, or I'm going to play this little yoga wine upside down image again. What is your overall intention? So when we go onto social media, we need to consider, with everything we do, like, what am I hoping to achieve? Is it to get a client? Is it to get a call? Is it to send people to a webinar? Is it to get them to look at a service? Is it to leave a review? Like, what is your intention with everything that you do? And then what is the action that you're going to take to get that result? And at the end of the day, it is about getting them off social media quickly and get them into a client. This is something I learned on Tinder, because if you keep talking to them backwards and forwards, they will eventually go cold. True story. So number 6 are the R's, all the R's, and it's not relax and rest and relaxation. It is review what you are doing so that you can improve and make better. And we do this ongoing on a weekly basis. So Friday's our review day. Number 2 is respond. Again, just like Tinder, if you're having a conversation with someone at the table and you're just going me the whole time, and you're not giving them a chance to actually talk, you're not giving them a chance to, or they do ask you a question and you just ignore them and don't even respond, that's not going to open up the door. If somebody's responding, we need to reply. Then you need to have recommendations. So they used to be called reviews, they're now called recommendations. So you need to know how to give and to receive recommendations and referrals. And that last one over there is about reputation management. And there was somebody that asked about that, and 100%. If we're going to go onto social media, go onto Facebook, go onto any piece of software, we have to know how to use it properly. And if something bad happens, we need to know how to react really quickly, because social media can spiral out of control real quickly. And number 7, and this is one of the ones that I talk about all the time, is just get in the hell of social media and get them off quickly. The longer you speak to them on there, the more likely they are to go cold. So we need to have call to actions, or we need to have somewhere to send them. So where are we sending them? You know, and it's always about getting that email address. It just always is. So are you going to have an opt-in, a book a call, get them to a webinar? You know, what is it? Give them an ebook or sell them a program. What is it? Where are you taking them? And it has to be logical to the customer, not to you. And number 8, the last one, is we have to have a professional profile. So if people are going to stalk you, and if they're going to look at you, they're going to do it to their your personal profile as well as your business page. So you have to have consistency. You know, if one day you pole dancing and you know, doing shots off a bar and you're just absolutely ragged, and the next day you're talking about, you know, releasing your femininity and being all amazing and wonderful, there's going to be inconsistency there. No one's going to trust you. Or my other favorite is when you constantly rebrand. So many people, when they get confused or overwhelmed, they rebrand. I'm rebranding, changing my offer, I'm changing this. They do it so often. The problem is that people will not ever take you seriously. And they would just not trust you. They might engage or watch, but they're never ever going to purchase from you. So those 8 fundamentals are incredibly important. Now, the poor little A word, the algorithm, everybody doesn't like the algorithm. It gets such a bad rap, but I love the algorithm because at the end of the day, if we know how it works, we can outsmart the algorithm, right? Well, basically, the algorithm is a prediction. And when you put in stuff, it looks at what you're putting in and what you're interested in and what you're engaging in, and it will match you with things. So, you know, the other dating site, Plenty of Fish, does that. If you say you like this and they like that, then it's say you two might like each other. It's exactly the same. It works on an algorithm. So if you are showing interest online in your ideal clients, if you're creating content about your ideal clients, and they are doing the same thing and they're showing interest in that, the algorithm will naturally put you together. And it's really that simple. So I won't spend too much time on it because it really is that simple. If you want to take a screenshot though, it literally just scans all your input, determines how interested you are in seeing it, and then predicts what you'd like best, and then puts it in front of your eyes. So you have to do those 8 fundamentals to be able to know. If you know those 8 fundamentals, and you understand how the algorithm works, and you start to do that on Facebook, it's going to work. New look, old look, it's going to work. All right, so the number one thing that I do, I mean, you guys are so lucky because this is exactly what I do with my clients. We go through fundamentals, we go through algorithm, we go through setting up a safe profile. Because I'm from South Africa, we don't trust many people. So we want to make sure we got safety here. So you want to be able to set up a safe and professional looking Facebook. So you want to go into your personal profile, you want to go into that about section, you want to fill out everything, you want to edit your bio, your details, and your featured images, and we want to make sure that you are stalkable, okay? And then you want to make sure that you go into your settings on your personal profile, and you want to make sure that you are, I've lost my cursor, there it is. You want to make sure that you're going into your settings in your personal profile and making sure that you understand those privacy settings. Because the amount of people who go into the settings and go, when it says, who can send me friend requests? They put in no one, or they put in friends of friends. Now you meet someone at a networking event and you're a business coach and they go, okay, Bob Jane, I'm going to go home and I'm going to befriend you on Facebook because I'm interested in doing business with you. But I try to add Bob Jane as a friend and I can't because we have no mutual friends. And he has a setting set that it's only friends of friends. So you need to just slow down for a second, go through all the personal profile settings, because the settings are different on your personal profile and your business page, and make sure that you just take the time to understand them and set them up properly. Okay, let's have a look. And here's the settings. So in the settings inside your Facebook profile, there is privacy settings, there's your Facebook information, timeline and tagging, so that you can turn your review settings on. So if you're doing burpees at the gym and your personal trainer takes a picture of your butt and it doesn't look graceful and he tags you on Facebook, you can remove your tag and you can hide it from timeline. So we need to understand how to do these things. We obviously need to know how to block straight away and never be afraid of 3 dots. When you see 3 dots, touch those 3 dots because they open up a world of opportunities. And that's how you can block or unfollow or unfriend people. And you need to understand how to do that to protect yourself online. You can also turn on your face recognition and people go, I don't want Facebook reading my face. Yes, you do. If someone takes your pictures and puts them all over social media and creates a fake profile, you want Facebook to notify you and say, hey, is this you? So yes, you do want face recognition on. And one of the biggest ones during COVID is the 2-factor authenticator, meaning that there's 2 things that you've got to do before you log into Facebook to stop hacking. So I encourage you to set that up again, to set that up as well. Now, I can kind of see in the chat box, there's like 20, lots of comments and stuff coming through. So Nick, if there's anything important that you just, Italian rules, just unmute yourself and butt in. All good? Okay, cool. So if there is anything else that's super important, just let me know. So I'll keep going because...
There's a couple of questions. Do you want me to pick out a couple of questions that are there at the
go for
moment?
it. If it's relevant to what I've just said, perfect, yes.
Yes. So one here is from Jane says, is Chantal saying that we should invite anyone to our private page or keep private and business separate? I'm very much for private and business. It sounds like separate.
Fantastic question. It kind of like rubs me up the wrong way. But remember we just spoke about the algorithm and how the algorithm puts like in front of like. I cannot stand coaches who tell everybody to add everyone to their personal profile. BS. You only add people that you know, like, and trust, or who know, like, and trust you, or potentially might be prospects or good referral partners because you know, like, and trust them. And that is the only one. At the end of the day, again, because I'm from South Africa, it is up to you. You can have the smallest little private profile, but you have your own strategy then. Or you could have a very public profile and you can have your own strategy. Whatever you choose, there's a strategy for it, 100%. So I work with a lot of psychologists, a lot of lawyers, and all of them, teachers, they've all got different social ways of doing things, 100%. But you just do need to have a strategy on how you're going to do it, because there are certain things inside your personal profile that I would recommend you do have public, like your business details, because you do want people contacting you. And it's okay. Sometimes you can go into the bio and say, this is the private account of Bob Jane. This is the private account of Bob Jane. If you'd like to follow me, jump onto my page. Just tell them. I'm not being rude. This is my private profile. That's what I want to do. And if it's public, that's fine as well. You just need to know how to use these platforms and use them well for your strategy. There's a strategy for everyone. Does that answer that question? Yeah, cool. Nick, any other questions?
Thank you for that one.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Jane. And I think I do have a recording on page versus personal profile. So if you email me and just remind me, I'll happily send that to you. I've got a recording on page versus profile.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie.
Yep.
Excellent. Any other questions there, Nick?
There's one here from Kate who said that her reviews have disappeared off her page, and it's happened a couple of times.
Okay. Excellent. Great question. So when we get to New Look Facebook, I'll let you know that guess what? With New Look Facebook, Facebook just went and chose a template for you. So every single person thinks that their template is right, all their tabs are right. I went in and my shop was gone. It's still there. You just have to flick the switch on. So you've got to go into your page, into settings, into templates and tabs, and you have to check what template Facebook has given you and just turn all the buttons back on. Okay, so you just got to turn that review tab on or off. Remember, if you've got someone trolling you, turn it off and turn it back on and they'll be there again. They're there, they're just not being shown on your page.
Cool, excellent.
Does that help?
I think that's all the the main questions. Yeah, at the moment, you answered the other one there about horrible reviews being posted, what you can do about that.
Yeah.
But I think you've answered that one.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's get back to social. The good news is that Facebook is social. So it's social media, keep it social. You shouldn't be overly salesy. There needs to be a good mix. So sometimes I stalk myself and I go through my phone and I go, let me look at my week's posts on my personal profile and my week's posts on my business page. And I go, do I have a good mix of salesy and social? And I encourage you to do that, because remember, if someone was stalking you, what would they do? They'd scroll through at least 3 of your pages and they would have a look at your personal and your business page. So you want to make sure that there's a good mix. You want to share success stories, share statistics, show your services, and share other content. You also want to offer your potential customers solutions. And you want to show social proof, which is your testimonials. Remember, it's not selling if it's serving. All right, so let's talk about your business page. Well, firstly, when they land on your business page, you've got 3 seconds to get a yes. And that means your banner needs to be on point. Banner is one of the most important things. It is your shop front. Your about section needs to be correctly filled out. And take note of your page ID, because that is one way that you can determine whether or not you're the owner of your page or not. You want to check your call to action button, and which one it is, and remembering that you have 2. So make sure that you set it up. And you want to know how to share that URL. So have you created the right URL, and do you know how to share it? You want to also know how to grow your page by inviting your friends to like your page. How to get reviews and respond to reviews on your page. You need to explore all your settings, because your settings on your personal profile and your business page are completely different. And then you need to go and set up your templates and tabs, making sure that, set up your services or shop or whatever template you want, making sure that the right buttons are turned on. Then go through your messaging and auto response as well. So if somebody was to come onto your page, what is the journey that you're sending them on? And then check your page roles, because if you've got someone, and this is a South African term, from 19 Footsack, if you've got someone from 19 Footsack who you'd given rights to like 10 years ago, and they have admin rights to your page, potentially they could hold your page hostage, just take it from you. So you want to make sure that you've removed any unwanted people from there. All right, so now we get to the 16 things, and you might want to take a screenshot of these. These are the 16 things, and as I said, at the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll actually send you the live training, because there's no time for me to go into my account right now and show you all of this. But for those of you who understand, will go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Some of you might go, what the hell is she talking about? I don't even know. This is gibberish. And I've actually got a training video on this. It's very recent, and I can send it to you, me actually showing you how to do this. So firstly, your personal profile picture doesn't overlap your banner anymore on your personal profile, and it now crops as a circle, not a square. So you might notice that. It's on your personal profile, not such a big deal. Number 2 is, and this one's a big deal, all your cover pics have changed size on desktop and mobile. So if you went and paid graphic designers to make all these amazing little things for you, guess what? They don't fit anymore. So you need to go look on a desktop, look on a mobile, and have a look at how it looks. But the rule of thumb is keep it center. And Canva is just not keeping up with the changes as much as Facebook is. You'll also note that Facebook has chosen a shaded color that now surrounds your page. So it's not you. Someone goes like, what the hell is this? I don't know where that came from. It's a shaded color which is now around your banner. Number 3, the banner buttons are now below. So this is on your page. So where all you had all those call to action buttons, they're now actually below the picture, which means your entire banner is visible and not overlapping. So that's pretty cool. And again, if you just have a look at your desktop and on a mobile, you can see what's showing. Number 4, all the buttons that were at the top of your page, so your inbox, your insights, your ads, your publishing tools, they have all slipped down to the left-hand side of the page now. Okay, so everything that was at the top has now slipped down to the left-hand side of your page. So it makes sense now. You'll see they've literally just moved. So number 5 is the far right tabs where you had community, invite people, page info, all the stuff on the far right side of your page is now moved to the center left. Okay, so it's moved from the right now to the center left. Number 6, all those left tabs, which are all your templates and tabs, services, shop, about, lives, posts, all the stuff on the left is now gone underneath the banner, and they're all there. So they haven't moved them like that. They've literally gone, these have gone here, those have gone there, these have gone there. So these have gone there, sorry. So when I say that, it's really cool because they're actually all together still, which is really awesome. Now, you'll notice that there are 3 dots on the right-hand side, and that is where you can like or share your page. And there's a really cool feature where you can actually decide what you want to see from that page. It's more really for your audience, because if you could communicate to your audience, I could say to all of you today, hey, jump onto Chantal Gerardy Facebook Strategist, click on the 3 dots. It says follow notifications. If you click on that, you can decide whether or not you want me to come up first in your news feed, whether or not you want to see all my lives or see all my videos or see all my posts. You can determine what of my page you actually want to see. So if we can get our raving fans to do that for us, that means we'll actually come up organically for free on their page. We just have to communicate it and let people know what we want them to do. Remember the 3 dots that open up a world of opportunity. The call to action button is now more prominent. It's ginormous, which is super cool, encouraging people to click it, which means you want to make sure it is not broken. So always test your links. I put links in and I go and I copy paste them and I test them every single time. If I was the customer, where would I be going? And is that logical? Number 9, and this one over here has stumped everyone. I got people messaging me saying, hey, I'm pushing the big plus sign at the top right-hand side where it says create a post. I'm doing it, and yet I've got no posts on my page. Where are they? Well, that little plus sign at the top right-hand top side of your page actually creates a post on your personal profile, not on your business page. So it says plus create post, and people are doing it, it looks all good, but it's not. It's actually for your personal profile. So watch out for that one. So number 10 is your settings. Like I said, they used to be up at the top of your page. They've now slipped down to the left-hand side. They are right at the very bottom of the left-hand side. So people are going, where are my settings? They're right at the very bottom. And I don't know why they put them right at the very bottom. That was a silly place to put them. But that's where they are. So your settings for your business page, that's where they are. Now your story isn't there. Your about section is still there on a desktop. Your story isn't there. However, on a mobile, it's still there. So who knows what the hell's happening with that? And again, on behalf of Facebook, I apologize. But still make sure that you filled it out because it is still showing on a mobile. Now, number 12 is publishing tools or Creator Studio is where Facebook wants us to sort out all our content. They want us to schedule our lives, create our posts, schedule everything and manage everything inside Creator Studio. So on the left-hand side, you click on Publishing Tools, hit on Creator Studio, and look for the little plus sign, and it actually gives you an opportunity there to schedule what you want to schedule. What we have noticed as well is they have removed the polls feature. On pages, polls feature is still in groups, it's just not in pages. So number 13, this one stumped the hell out of me. A client left a review on my page, and yet no one could see it. So when a person leaves a review, they can now decide if it is public or friends or private. So the bad news is that if they post a review and they say, I only want my friends to see this, it means on your page, if they're not friends with that person, you don't have that review to show. So you now have to communicate, hey, if you don't mind leaving a review on my page, would you mind making sure that you're leaving it as public? But it now means that you can leave a review on someone's page and your friends don't have to see it. Number 14, the appointments tab. And as I said, I'm not a feature. I've got my own appointment schedule outside of Facebook, but appointment tab is on the left-hand side. It now has reminders. It has calendar integrations. It is really super cool. But if Facebook goes down, you don't know who you're seeing that day. So unless you have them off Facebook and unless you've got that set up properly and you have the email address and you still are able to manage that off of Facebook, I don't encourage it. But it is also an awesome new feature that they have upgraded. Number 15 is your inbox has a CRM. So when you go into your messages and your inbox on your page, down the right-hand side, you can write whether or not you've spoken to them, whether or not they wanted to follow up with you, what they said. You can actually write notes on the right-hand side. And again, my rule is that's all fine to use that, but do you have the email address? And number 16, one of my favorites is a group's news feed. So you'll see like 3 little heads together at the top of your top of Facebook. Like one of the options is to open a page with 3 little heads. You can click on that, and that is a group's feed. So any of the groups that you are engaging in, that will be in your group's feed. So that's a pretty cool feature. Facebook is throwing a lot of money into groups and is giving administrators lots of power inside groups. Why? I'll tell you why. Because like I predicted probably 3 years ago, I said that we're going to monetize Facebook groups. And they're going to. It makes logical sense. We're all making crap loads of money on Facebook groups. So my advice to you is to make sure that you've got everyone's email address. If you're getting them in the groups, make sure that you can email everyone, making sure that you have all of them so that you can upsell them, downsell them, get them into a program. Because if Facebook says to you tomorrow, you need to pay to have this group, fine, I don't mind paying for it. I make lots of money in my groups. So my groups, I'm happy to pay depending on what they charge me. But if it's anything like Facebook shops where they're charging 5%, I'm going to go, oh, I'm going to use Facebook groups. I'm just going to come up with a new strategy. So we need to keep in mind Facebook is a business. What time are we at? Kubernetes. All right, so I might just ask Nick, any questions, any aha moments? Can anybody just go like WTF, like just give me some love, or are you pulling your hair out, or you just tell me something before I carry on.
Lots of thanks there. And we've got wish they did the CRM for your personal page. Yeah, they'll never do that for personal profile, because at the end of the day, personal profile is about you, the person. And yes, you can strategically use it for your business, but we have to understand that they don't want spamming and they don't want us using it for business. So they'll give it to us, but they're not going to let us use it for business too much. Because you know, they make money on their pages, and like I said, guaranteed they're going to be making money on their group soon too. Any other feedback? Yeah, it's way more complex than I thought. But thanks.
I have a response to that actually, Nick. So I should have had this disclaimer at the beginning. The good news is you do not need to do everything that you just saw. Like, you do not have to use everything that you just saw. You don't have to, that whole Facebook world, you don't have to, like, you just have to have an understanding of it. But for your business, you only need to do what you need to do to get paying clients. And that is usually one little funnel or 2 little funnels. And it doesn't include all of these things. The amount of people who come to me and go, I want groups, I want group strategy. And I end up taking groups off them, and they're making more money not using groups. So you don't need to have all these things and use all these things. You just need one income producing strategy that works for your business. So take this on board and go, cool, that's awesome, that's awesome. But what out of this can I use that's going to work for me and my customers, that's going to work for both of us? So I hope that one makes sense.
All right, Linda, did you have a question? Did you want to unmute and ask away?
Yeah, thank you, Nick. I'm loving it. I can't write fast enough, Chantal. You're like jam-packed with info. But a couple of things I did note. Why can't I see all of my posts? So I post in a group I created, and sometimes like I have to put the hashtag in to search because it doesn't show like in the feed, and I'm like, did that work or did it not? I have to go back and like actually search for like hashtag wealth. I did today. I had to search
excellent.
to see
Great
that
question.
the post was there.
Believe it or not, if you're looking at your group on a desktop and you start to scroll down, just before all the posts come up, there's a faint gray little thing that says most recent posts or most recent comment. If you turn it to most recent post or most recent comment, depending on what you want to look at, I prefer most recent post, because then it's in the order that I've been posting in. So I can go down and check it, because if it's on most recent comment, it means if somebody's clicked like, it now brings that one up to the top and the whole group feed gets muddled up. So that should answer your question.
Perfectly, thank you. And can I have one more?
Sure.
I posted on a group page, which is like a local mums page, and they've I've discovered they've banned me. Like the only post I did was sharing like a free event, sharing like one of my meetups, which is, you know, a women's circle on a mother's group page, and there's no cost. And they didn't even message me. I just went to comment on another post and it says it's turned off. And I've emailed I've messaged one of the administrators on Saturday and she still hasn't responded, and I'm still blocked.
So here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, the groups are run by people. People can be bitches and bastards and they have their own intentions in mind. And you may think that it's absolutely amazing. Like when COVID hit, I had this wonderful program. I was like a free webinar where I'm just going to show you how to like create an offer that sells during COVID. And I got blocked, banned, shot, like it because at the end of the day, it's their lack of abundance mindset, or they egotistical. I just go good riddance, let the trash take care of itself. And it's obviously not worth being in that group. But part of what I do is always stalk the group rules, always read the announcements, see what other people are doing and are allowed to do. But I stalk the crap out of the administrators and who's actually got that group, because from there I can know whether or not they're the type of person who's going to have the same values and beliefs as me and see that as beneficial, or whether or not they're going to be like a Hitler, like a keyboard warrior, and are just there to, you know, just scold you and be absolutely miserable. So unfortunately, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I always encourage business owners to have a dickhead bubble. And you have this dickhead bubble. You empower your dickhead bubble. Make sure you're nice and strong inside of it. You know who you are and what you do. And you just go in with all good intention and a good strategy. And anyone else that bumps onto that dickhead bubble, just let them deflect.
Cool. So is there like a time limit? Or do you think there is a time limit, or they just set it until they decide?
No way, Jose. They'll just go in and they'll just remove it. And not only that, but sometimes their friends will just report it. Sometimes there'll be a competitor in the group who's doing something similar, and they might be their person's sister-in-law, and they'll just go, my sister-in-law does what you do. I don't want you sharing that because that's going to stop my sister-in-law getting work, so I'm just going to block you. Like it's literally... Yeah,
because I can still see all the notifications and posts. I just can't comment.
Yep, they just turn off the comments. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Okay.
Sorry. I keep saying sorry for people, but yeah, sorry.
Thank you. I'm loving tonight. Thanks, Chantal.
Absolute pleasure. All right, cool. So just so that we can stay on track, and I probably will go over, and I do apologize, but one of the R's were review. So I, as an ongoing part of your strategy, every single week, my clients go in, either they'll click it to 7 days. Some people only do it every 4 weeks, which is 28 days, but they'll go into the insights. They will look at the people that they're talking to, the genders that are engaging, the actions that are being taken, your video views, and go look at whether or not stories is working or not working. Because I argued with a business coach who told her entire group to sit there spending hours doing Facebook stories, and yet their demographic weren't even opening or looking at them. And I'm like, don't waste your time or money. Like stories isn't for your people, so don't worry about it. Just don't do it. So you don't need to be doing what's not working or doesn't work. Just stop doing it right now. But the only way you're going to know that is to go through your insights and have a look at your insights and see what's happening, and then work out, what did I do that worked? What didn't I do that worked? Let me try something different. Don't freaking rebrand. Just review. Cool. So to create compelling content that converts, literally, if you just did these 11 things, they are the most important things in the whole wide world. Number one is we forget to create posts about ourselves on our business page. So we forget that people are being added to our page all the time, and people forget who you are. And at the end of the day, people do business with people, and it's a social platform. So you do need to occasionally be on there. And you do have to, you know, tell your family story or your story, or show your dog, or just show that you're human. And people forget to do that. They start just putting all the salesy stuff on there, and they forget to actually put themselves on there. So at least, you know, once every 11 days, make sure that you post a post about you, talking about you. You'll go onto my business page, you'll see I'm kneeboarding, or I'm out camping, or like, you need to see those things. Number two, your why. So people more than anything else want to know what your business backstory is, why you do what you do, because that's how they connect and build trust. So we need to tell that story, even if it's telling the same story, you know, differently, but we need to continually tell people that story, because it becomes memorable, but it is another way for people to know, like, and trust you, and to build credibility with you. So number three is your services. Now, when we talk about services, we're talking about how you can serve other people. So, you know, what do you offer? What do you offer for your services? You know, who your ideal client is, and literally say, my ideal client is, you know, they struggle with this, and I help them to solve that. But we get all fancy and we go, I've got this wonderful program with some creative name, and I describe like everything awesome and wonderful about it. But at the end of the day, we forget that we're talking to people. So the way that we show our services about is literally saying, are you this person? So I might go, are you stressed and overwhelmed with this new era of using Facebook in your business? And everyone's going, yes, yes. Well, all the right people are going, yes, I am stressed and overwhelmed. Well, I empower business owners with the skills and strategies to successfully manage their own profiles. And they go, oh, cool. Successfully, simply manage their own profiles. Yes. And I repeat that same thing again and again, but then I go into some of my services as well. So we need to show our services ongoing and the problems we solve. Number four is credibility. So why you over everyone else? Okay, why you over everyone else? What are your expertise? Are you qualified? Do you have years of experience? You know, I've dropped it already at the beginning of today. Qualified, award-winning, originally self-taught. Like, it is important to do that, because you have to put your credibility in, because the reality is on social media, there are 1 quadrillion yous, or there are 1 quadrillion people who do what you do. So you want to make sure that you are putting your credibility in there. And people don't like it. It's that, what do they call it? It's a poppy syndrome that they call here in Australia. At the end of the day, they don't like to talk about themselves, but it's important because it gives your customer confidence in choosing you. Number 5 is social proof. So people don't want to just hear about you and how wonderful you think you are. They want to hear other people's success stories. So you need to be sharing them, including testimonials. Number 6 is FOMO. So people have fear of missing out. So we've got to talk about the pleasure and the pain of not working with you, the pain of where they are right now, and then the pleasure of how they could be feeling if they work with you now. It's important to show them that firstly you understand who they are and what they're struggling with, and you resonate with them. Number 7 is community. So people want to see your values. Like if you're a dog person, show your dog. If you're a cat person, show your cat. But you want to make sure that you are including it. You know, if you volunteer for the firemen, show that. If you're a scrapbooker, show that. But people want to see, or if you donate money towards a cause, show that. Because people want to see the values that you have as well. And not only that, but those people, like for example, there's a mortgage broker, and every time she has her Zoom calls with her clients, she has her little Fifi Maltese dog on her lap. Now, she always shows pictures of that. And now all other people with all these other little Fifi dogs, they all choose her because they all want to sit down or, you know, look at her dog and have a conversation. So it bridges that gap. So you want to make sure that any community-based stuff you are showing. And number 8 is involve your audience in your marketing. So you don't just want to be talking about you the whole time. You want to get their feedback. Do you like this or do you like that? I'm writing an ebook. Do you prefer this title? Do you prefer that title? Check out my logo. Do you like this or that? My profile pictures, this or that. But get your customers engaged in it so that they feel like they're part of your marketing. Number 9 is offers. So when you do have an offer, by all means, show your offer. Even have a referral program, have a special or a competition, and let them know what they need to do to be a part of that. Number 10 is trending and seasonal. You know, COVID was trending and seasonal, coming out of COVID was trending and seasonal, pivoting. But, you know, there's Father's Day, and you don't just want to the night before be going, hey, listen, I've got something for your father tonight. Like, you've left it too late. You really do have to have a content calendar which shows you when Father's Day is, and then go 6 weeks back and start letting them know that, hey, my dad's important to me. I think your dad might like this. Would you be interested in buying one of these? And doing it well in advance of Father's Day. So trending and seasonal is really important. If something in your business, for example, gut health, you know, the season's changing from spring to autumn, whatever, and now you've got to have gut health, so you've got to change this or do that. You know, it's seasonal, so you need to change it so that it matches. And if you do go onto my website, we have uploaded the 2021 content calendar. So if you subscribe, you will get the 2021 content calendar, which went up this week. So number 11 is pitching. You have to know how to effectively communicate what it is that you do to get a yes from the person, from the right person that's prepared to pay you money for what it is that you do. Because getting a yes and they're not prepared to pay for you is not a yes, yes. Okay, it's foreplay without the happy ending. You want to make sure that you are getting a yes, yes, yes. All right. So you've got to be able to effectively communicate what it is that you do so you can pitch. Yes, we did it. Look at the time. On the dot. Wow. Woo! I was getting worried there for a while, Nick.
Oh, it's looking good. You had a comment there to say stay as long as you like. So you're obviously hitting the right right notes here. So it's been great information.
You know, you know me, I could talk all night long. But for those of you, as promised, a couple of things. I love giving things away. So I'd love for you to jump on and like Chantal Gerardy, Facebook strategist. If you like, click those 3 dots and opt to see me first on my page. So all my content will come up. And guess what? Every time there's something new, we put it on my Facebook page. So for example, you can now tag a product on your Facebook page. And there's a video on how to do that on my Facebook page. So please click those 3 dots and make sure that you opt to see my page first. And then if you leave a review on my Facebook page, and make sure it's public, please, so you can test that feature out too, we will private message you and give you my 14-day Facebook content program, which is me in your inbox every day for 14 days, showing you what to do on Facebook. But for those of you who do want to book a call, stalk or subscribe, that is the website, and the 2021 calendar's on there too. And we do have an expo offer. So if you're on the Gold Coast, Thursday, is that tomorrow? No, today's Tuesday. Thursday is the Gold Coast Expo. I am down there. I do have an expo offer, but if you do subscribe, you will get the expo offer as well on Friday. So where you can save heaps of dollars because I have an offer. And there's that number again. All right, so we might go to questions.
Excellent. Yes. Any questions there? Just unmute yourself and ask away.
Can I go first?
You sure can. Shall we, do you want to unshare your screen, Chantal?
Yeah,
and then we
sure.
can see people? Yeah.
Here we go.
Hi Chantal, I'm Jane. I'm here on the Gold Coast as well. I'm just wondering how much of this information, apart from like the settings on the homepage, etc., relate to Instagram? Like how much of it, like when you're saying you're posting and all this content that you just went through at the end there, is that all stuff that you can just do for both accounts?
Great question. Fantastic question. So, you know, although I'm a Facebook strategist, I do have a diploma in social media marketing now. So I can talk to you about the other platforms. And my rule is when we create a social media content plan is we have to respect the platforms. Facebook is story-based. It's more about a story. It's a little bit longer. And that's Facebook. And Facebook doesn't use hashtags, although they have been talking about trialing one hashtag. But right now it's like Google, you don't actually need hashtags to search in it. Instagram is more about the picture. It's about the picture. It is about the relevant hashtags, and it is shorter form. And it's a lot about Instagram stories. So whenever we say, I always talk about Facebook having an income producing strategy, and then what do we do on the other platforms to tick the boxes? So what content is going to be relevant and ticks Instagram's boxes? Because our client on Instagram is going to be younger, and they're going to be into different things. So you do need a completely different strategy. However, 100%, some of your content on Facebook may be relevant, but I do not believe in cross-posting. I believe in copy-pasting and rather making it more Instagram worthy so that we tick the boxes. Because if you just cross-share from Instagram to Facebook, Instagram will go to Facebook. You've got all these hashtags there and shorter content. It's not Facebook friendly.
So that's wonderful, yeah. Because I have noticed on my my social media traffic, I've got a Shopify store, that Facebook is usually around 90%, and then Pinterest will come next. Not 90%, but it's like ridiculously high. And then Pinterest will usually come next, and Instagram comes last. Yet I actually use later to post to both platforms and kind of put my energy into the Instagram side of things, maybe because I look at Instagram more than I do Facebook, but my search results are saying that all my traffic is coming from Facebook. So it's
100%. Yeah, they're more likely to buy. People are more likely to buy on Facebook. And this is it. Most, if you enjoy it, people go, well, I enjoy Instagram. And I go, that's okay. Do you enjoy feeding your family? Because you're spending 10 hours a week on Instagram and nothing on Facebook because you enjoy it. Guess what? Hard work is not enjoyable. So you got to, but with a strategy, it does get easier. So 100%.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions there?
Yeah, so Victoria Smith has said, yeah, I think I'll still steer clear of Facebook. So the reason I'd encourage you not to do that is because Facebook, used to be a social media platform like all the others. But with COVID, they have actually bought their own map. They bought Maxillary. They have bought Eventbrite. So they're in bed with Eventbrite. They're in bed with Google at the moment. So Facebook is literally up here with Google at the moment. Google has not gone anywhere. So we need to know what to do on Google to stay relevant. And we need to know how to use Facebook. Because my other question is, if we don't know how to use these platforms, we really have two options. One is, how are we going to generate clients if we don't use social media? So if you've got another way of doing it, that's awesome. But the second part of that is, if we don't, how are we going to get clients? How are we going to make money? Or alternatively, do you have the money? Maybe you've got the money to outsource it and spend $500 to $1,000 a week and give it to a marketing agency to do for you. But the reality is, I just don't see Facebook going anywhere. So it's better just to get to know it. And I know it can seem overwhelming, and I've given you heaps, and I did warn you of that at the beginning. But if you can become friends with the platform and understand it and just have one little income producing strategy, so you just wake up and know what to do, you'll have a roadmap, you'll know what to do, and it'll get results and it'll work, and we'll live happily ever after.
Chantal, if I can ask a question,
Sure.
Rob here, yeah. I've got two questions. One is about reviews. Now, I've noticed on my business page, I've got a certain number of reviews that are showing, but I discovered just browsing through and navigating through that I've got other reviews that are not actually shown on the Facebook page. How can I get that to come up?
That's a bit of an open-ended question, because where are they showing if they're not showing on Facebook?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, look,
because
unfortunately,
I've just sort of discovered this by flicking around and tabbing, exploring settings that suddenly these other reviews have appeared. But when I look at my page, my business page, they're not, those particular ones are not showing.
Yeah,
So,
look, without me actually seeing it, it would be very hard for me to guess unless Nick has an idea. But I only know that the two things that I've noticed is that some of our review tabs have disappeared, not because they've disappeared, they're there, but the tab just hasn't been turned on since the new change. And Facebook's turned the review tab off, so you've just got to turn it back on. Or alternatively, the settings are on private and not on public, which means you can view it, but no one else can view it. But yeah, without me looking at it, sorry, Ron, I wouldn't be able to.
yeah, okay. No,
yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you where
question.
they are.
Yeah, big question. Actually, would you have a simple recommendation of getting reviews?
Yeah, 100%, and that's a fantastic question. So firstly, you know, I prefer to do it straight when you work with the customer. So when you're working with the customer, like I did today, when I got to the end, I asked you for a review, and people don't ask. They generally just send it out in an email, and sending it out in an email is great. So you could send it with an invoice and say, please, could you leave a review, and give them the link and send it to them. But we find that they get colder the longer you leave it. So the hotter they are, the more likely you are to do it. So my strategy is to, at the end, when people have had a happy ending, I always say to them, that's awesome. How did you enjoy that? You're really enjoying it. Would it be okay if you just took out your phone, jumped onto Facebook and left a review? I'll talk you through it if you like. Because often people don't leave a review because they just don't know how. So when you suggest to them that you'll sit with them and show them, they'll happily do it. But the longer you leave them, the harder it is. And yeah, you just really have to ask. There are other strategies. For example, some of the salons and things that I work with, they have stickers stuck up in their shops or a sign on their shop that says, you know, leave a review. If you like us, leave a review. And they might have a fun sticker in front of the customer that's sitting there. I've noticed restaurants have got bar coasters where it says, leave a review on the bar coaster. So we literally just have to ask people continually.
And with reviews on Facebook, what's the value of Facebook as a say against a review on Google?
Yeah, great question. So you do need both. You need Google and you need Facebook. Google is, believe it or not, easier because you can actually send them a direct tab to go to Google and leave a review. In saying that, the objection often is, oh, it's asking me for a Gmail account and I don't have one. And this is because they forget that they have a Gmail account or how to log into it. So that's usually an issue. But with Facebook, you can send them to Facebook. The problem with Facebook is that you have to click yes before it opens up and lets you leave a review. So people go to leave a review, and if you want my 14-day Facebook content challenge and you're happy to leave me a review on my page, go on and have a look and test that feature, because then you can communicate to your clients how to do that. But when you go there, you click on reviews and then you can't write anything. You have to click yes or no before it opens up, and then it lets you write. And if you don't write a certain amount, it won't post it. So knowing this now, like me telling you this and knowing this, means that the next time you're sitting down with your client, you can say, let's do it together. We'll walk you through it and talk them through it, and they're happy to do it.
Yeah.
So knowledge is power.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
Excellent. Probably got time for one more, and then we better wrap up for the night. This is Chantal's a morning person, not an evening person, so we're really lucky to have her here tonight.
I'd love
Anyone
to
else?
last.
Go, Kate.
Hi, how are you? Thanks, Chantal. A couple of questions. So I've been on the new platform for quite some time, and I was starting to get used to it, and familiar with it. And something popped up the other day, and I don't know what I clicked on, but it's gone back to the old version again.
Okay, cool. Excellent. That's an easy fix. And it doesn't happen to many people. So there are a couple of my clients that still have the old version, and yet most people have converted around. But if you're on your personal profile, the top right-hand side, there's a drop-down arrow. If you click that drop-down arrow, it'll say switch to new look Facebook.
Yep, I do remember that actually. Yeah, Yep, that's easy. Cool. And any suggestions? I do a lot of my stuff on my personal page, and I still copy stuff onto my business page without going into it too much. But my business page is like, I've got about 14,000 followers on there, but it's an old business. I've rebranded, which is similar, related kind of, still coaching in health and wellness, but it's slightly, you know, just slightly different model. I don't get a lot of interaction. I haven't put a lot of energy into it because I wasn't getting a lot of traction. I'd been advised not to really do as much on that unless I was doing paid ads. What's so that's why I thought I'd ask. So any suggestions on, you know, obviously there's a lot of people there, some might have died off, no, you know, email addresses and all that kind of stuff are old. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. And this is what happens with Facebook groups as well, where they've got them and they're posting all the time and nothing's actually happening in there. So it's exactly the same thing. A couple of things. Sometimes you could go, you know what, I'm just going to start a brand new thing and I'm just going to be a brand new page. But from the time, and I say this, it's nothing worse than someone comes to me and says, I'm going to start a Facebook group. And then when I'm ready to do something with them, I'm going to do something. No, because it's an algorithm. They go dead. They literally go dead and they won't see anything. And it happens in the page. You can't bring them back to life again by following those 11 things. And for example, I've got a 14-day content program. So if you went through that, that might get some of them up, the right people up, the people that are still interested in what it is that you do. But making sure that you have set it up so it is rebranded, it's perfectly clear on what it is that you're doing now, but communicating it as well. So if people do rebrand, it's important to go in there and tell people why you've changed or what you're doing differently, because they will actually thank you more for it. They'll actually be more grateful than, because the confused buyer buys nothing. So, you know, one of two things. You could just start another one and just get rid of that one completely, although that's a lot of followers. So, you know, don't do anything until I look at it properly and like would give you advice. I would say don't do anything, but some people just start again. But then you've got to have a growth strategy. So if you go onto my website, in my blogs, there's a blog called 9 ways to grow your page. You've got to have a growth strategy. What are you going to do on an ongoing basis to grow your Facebook page with the right people? And you might just decide to do it again. Or alternatively, you might just want to get those people back to life. Or get them back to life and then let them know that you're moving somewhere else. But at the end of the day, if you get people's email addresses going onto your page, that would be awesome. Like part of that strategy is to get their email address on your page, because then you could email them and go, hey guys, I'm moving across to this page right now. I've rebranded. Anyone who gives you the email address was genuinely interested in what it is that you were offering. So, so it's sort of a big question, but I hope that kind of helps.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I'll still stick with it for a bit because I have had clients through it, so it's not, you know,
bring it back to life.
I'll just focusing
set it up properly, fill in your services, make sure it's crystal clear what you're doing now. Even go in, do 1 or 2 Facebook Lives, just letting people know why the change or why the rebrand, but get them excited. Remember, it's a conversation. It's like walking into a party with your head down as opposed to walking in going, let's get started. Like, just get them going, because if you can get them going, you'll get that algorithm going again. And if you follow, as I said, those 11 things, and that will most certainly help to bring that up.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Our 14-day Facebook content program, definitely.
Yeah, cool. No, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Because my group's a bit, I've got about 800 people in my group as well. And I was thinking of how I might, whether I cull that down and start, because I've got some interaction, but definitely not that many people. But people have said they're watching but not commenting over time. So I don't kind of know whether I just get rid of some of them if they're not commenting or start again. But
yeah, 100%. Look, it depends. Like I just worked with a lady, 8 weeks. She had a half engaged Facebook group. She did my 8-week program. By the end of 8 weeks, she had 6 $1,000 clients. And up to that point, she had nobody buying anything from her. And she was doing Facebook Lives every single day. Her content was on point, but she had no customer journey and she had no funnel, no strategy. So once we put that into place, we actually monetized that group. And she actually messaged me now and she said she just had another 8 people sign up. So it's just changed it by those fundamentals. So those fundamentals, the key messaging, having that strategy, that customer journey, that funnel makes all the difference. So, don't do anything yet, but you can have a strategy. You can book a call with me as well. And as I said, there will be an offer going out on my emails on Friday. Yeah,
cool. Thank you. I've, I mean, a lot of people I've found have watched me for 6 to 12 months before they've said yes. So it's kind of, people can be still sitting there, learning to know I can trust me. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you may just be conscious of your call to actions. You may not have a solid call to action.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't do it enough. I don't think I do it enough.
Yeah. My favorite A word is ask, and everyone goes ask because I'm South African. I'm like, no, ask.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you
No
for your
worries.
help.
Linda's got one over there. I'll quickly get it in. Question about the URL on your business page. Is there time? Yes. If you go onto your business page and you're looking at your business page on your desktop, go right up to the very top bar and you'll be able to copy paste that URL. That's one way of sharing your page's URL. Setting up your page URL. If you're on your page and on your left-hand side, you see your edit page info, create username. That username becomes your URL.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I've got like one before, like when I first set it up a few years ago, and it's Soul Journey, which is nothing to do with what I'm doing now.
So page,
yeah,
page info, username, and change that there.
Thank you.
Awesome.
$1 million answers right there. and this is from my partner. I don't even know. Oh, you won't be able to see it. He just
Actually, it must be written in green, is it? Because we can see right through the paper.
Yeah, I know. See if we can figure it out. It all works. It all works, Giant Gold Coast.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks very much, Chantal. There is a truckload of information. In fact, two of my team are on here today, as they always are, JM and Lorena. So they're my two of my team over in the Philippines. So I know that they've been taking notes, and because we've been going through a whole lot of changes at the moment, including changing URLs, changing branding, all that sort of stuff for the new business. We're about to launch a program as well for people wanting to hire VAs, like the whole process going through all that as well. So that's all been part of our journey on Facebook as well. So yeah, I'm probably really selfish having you on here because it's as much for me as it is for everybody else. So yeah, so thanks very much for your information. Best way for people obviously to get in touch with you is through your website, chantalgerardy.com.au. And your email address is up there too. So that obviously means anyone can email you. So feel free to do it. Chantal is a legend. She really knows the stuff, as she's demonstrated tonight, and she's so giving, and she's happy to share as much as she can. So thanks once again for coming along tonight, Chantal.
Absolute pleasure, guys. And yeah, look forward to seeing if you know how to leave a review on my page. And
I'll do that.
If you can follow my page, and remember, make sure it's public. So look out for that as well. Make sure it's public.
Excellent. And Chantal's just reminded us, those that live on the Gold Coast or coming down from Brisbane or Northern New South Wales, I think you're allowed to cross the border now, aren't you? There is the Small Business Expo in Carrara on Thursday from 10 to 4. I've exhibited there before. It's a great place to go. It's a great place to get business as well too, even if you're not exhibiting, because you get to meet a whole lot of people. So I'll be there. I'll see you there, but well worth going along too. A couple of other things coming along too is that tomorrow at 10 o'clock or 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 11 o'clock New Zealand time. And what's that? 11, oh no, that's forget me. Just go and work out your own time zones. It's 10 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. We have office hours. So that is the coffee chat in the morning, which we do on Zoom, and that there really is bring a question. There's no agenda. There's no speaker. Bring a question, cup of coffee, cup of tea, glass of wine, whatever you have at that time in the morning. And it really is just as an opportunity to chat with other business owners and entrepreneurs about your online journey, any questions you've got, getting recommendations, and probably what we've talked about tonight is a good topic, which will probably be discussed there tomorrow as well too. So the link is in chat there to come along to that. So it's on Zoom. So just click on that to get the link for that. The other thing too is that we've started up a brand new YouTube channel. So these sessions will go onto YouTube as well. They're on Facebook, so the stream to Facebook. But what I'd love you to do is to go to our YouTube channel, go and like it and follow it or subscribe to it. because we need to do that in order to allow us to create a custom name for it. So we want to brand it as well too. So I just need as many people as possible to go and subscribe, which would be great. Thanks, Jane. Yeah, appreciate that as well too. All right. I think that's about it for tonight. So again, thanks very much everyone for coming along. Thanks, Chantal. We'll see some of you tomorrow, and hopefully see a lot more of you next week as well too. Go and have a sensational night and a great week. Catch you later.
See you. Bye.
Thanks, guys.